Gellibrand has the call.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Well, the Minister for Education's political career started in student politics, and this year we've seen it go full circle, returning to the kinds of pathetic word games and stubborn ideology that you'd ordinarily expect from an overexcited university undergraduate. A Liberal Party that promised, quote, adult government before the last election is currently being served by an Education Minister who's playing childish games with the future of Australian students. Yesterday, the Minister for Education waggishly told the House in Question Time that, quote, you have to be nimble in politics. Well, let's review how this minister has been nimble. Before the election, he promised that there'd be no changes to university funding under a Liberal government. After the election, he promised that there would be no increase in student fees under the Liberal government. Then, at the budget, he announced a 20% cut in higher education funding and a policy that would Americanise our universities and lead to the introduction of $100,000 degrees. He then claimed that we must have been imagining it all along because, in fact, the Liberal Party had never even announced a higher education policy at the last election. I must have imagined that Real Solutions policy pamphlet coming through my door letterbox. He then told us that the government's university funding plans were, quote, inextricably linked to the deregulation plans of the government, holding the jobs of 1,700 Australian scientists to ransom for 24 hours before he separated these measures. He certainly is nimble, Mr Deputy Speaker. He's shown us backflips upon backflips, and now he's dancing on the grave of his own credibility. We've seen enough surprises from this minister. It's time this nimble minister danced off the Australian political stage and took his extreme and unfair ideas with him.